and Aneta Hiko, CEO of the UCU Foundation, for their kind invitation to speak with you this evening. I am humbled and also honored by this request. My wife, Andrea Crawford, and I are delighted to be here for the 21st Annual Chicago Banquet to benefit UCU. Thank you to everyone for coming out and showing your support for Ukrainian Catholic University. Now more than ever, as the war rages on, how good it is that we are here together, united as one community, in solidarity with our family, friends, and colleagues in Ukraine. I've been asked to speak about what makes the partnership between the University of Notre Dame and UCU so special. There are three clear ideas that bind our institutions together in friendship. First, we have similar missions that call our universities to be a leader in civil society in our respective nations and around the world. Second, we have a vision that educating bright young people and forming them into the leaders of tomorrow will bring about profound and positive change. Empowering faculty to teach them and do groundbreaking research does the same. Third, and perhaps most importantly, we all know that our greatest asset is our people. Their commitment to values-based education that lifts up individuals and the community, and their ability to dedicate themselves daily to this mission and vision, and to do so with professionalism, empathy, joy, and love to create cultures like any other university is extraordinary. Notre Dame's relationship with UCU extends back 20 years thanks to shared research and administrative collaborations fostered by the university's Banquet Institute for European Studies. UCU has been a part of a network of Eastern European Catholic universities convened by Notre Dame, by our Banquet Institute for European Studies, to promote collaboration and research between our institutions, while also building lifelong friendships and exposing all involved to other ways of learning, being, and doing. My own relationship with Ukrainian Catholic University began in 2019 when our then president, Reverend Father John I. Jenkins, bestowed upon Archbishop Boris Kudziak one of our university's highest honors, the Notre Dame Award, which seeks to recognize a global leader who best embodies the spirit of Notre Dame. In his remarks, Father Jenkins praised UCU, stating that it embodied a particular truth, namely, how, quote, the aspiration of Catholic education is not simply the importing of knowledge and skills, but the transformation of lives and ultimately the healing of a broken world. He went on to state that, quote, in the face of innumerable challenges in a society traumatized by war, genocide, and political oppression, Archbishop Boris and his colleagues have made the Ukrainian Catholic University a center for cultural thought, Christian witness, and the education of a generation who can bring to Ukraine healing and hope. I certainly experienced a sense of mission on campus during that first visit in 2019, whether praying in the University Church of St. Sophia of the Holy Wisdom, whether praying there, whether meeting with administrative and academic leaders, speaking with students, or spending time with residents of the Emmaus Center. There was a sense that this intellectually and spiritually vibrant community was guided by its sense of mission, that it is called to hold a unique purpose and place in Ukrainian higher education, unlike any other university. The community is infused with the conviction that no past history, no present challenge, or any future trauma could deter a people and a place so grounded in a sense of mission. My colleagues and I came away excited by the prospect of building out this partnership, assured that we would learn and be beneficiaries from the fresh and entrepreneurial spirit so evident on UCU's campus, and that great things would be forthcoming as our two institutions worked ever more closely together and built upon our shared common past and similar mission. COVID arrived soon thereafter, dashing those dreams for the time being. As COVID receded, another horror rushed in, Russia's full-scale invasion. Out of this murderous moment, however, came the opportunity for a profoundly transformative rebirth of our partnership in ways that no one could have predicted. Trusting in our similar missions and past relationship, we moved in this time of war to fulfilling our vision, our collective vision for what universities should do in these historical moments, to be institutions that produce hope, that spark healing, to be universities that, as our current president, Reverend Father Robert Dowd has said, are the bridge builders that our world needs right now. This similarity we have of a vision of ourselves as leaders called to fight for the dignity of every human person demanded that we act in bold new ways to address the horror that we were confronting. When we woke up in South Bend on February 24th of 2022 to hear that our colleagues and friends' country had been invaded by Russia, we reached out immediately to the senior leadership to make sure that they were all safe. This became the beginning of a weekly call to check in with one another. And for us simply to listen to what was going on. Were classes being held? Did they have power? Were there adequate bomb shelters? How often were they going? How were students, faculty, and staff faring? This solidarity, this willingness to listen and to accompany, led us after several months to design a joint initiative that would enable more than 20 Ukrainian undergraduates, all women, to come study at Notre Dame for a semester. It would provide collaborative faculty research grants focused on topics dealing with resilience in the face of war, and funding that would empower UCU's administrative leaders across all divisions of the university to travel to the US to meet with their counterparts at Notre Dame. Doing that would allow us to create deeper ties and share best practices that would advance our partnership and our shared vision of what universities are called to do in a time of war. This $2 million initiative over 2 years, called Standing in Solidarity with Ukrainian Catholic University, has been a radical and life-affirming act. An act in which Notre Dame has received so much more than we ever could have imagined. It bears witness to our deeply similar and complementary missions and visions, and to our desire to live out our faith and the responsibilities that come with being in solidarity with one another in a broken and battered world. Last month, I had the privilege and honor of traveling to Lviv and Kyiv with my wife to continue this work. I went to assess the outcomes of the first phase of this initiative and to announce that Notre Dame would continue to invest another $500,000 to support additional faculty research at an advanced level. Thank you. Our hope is that in doing so, we will be able to apply for future external funding sources from governmental, non-governmental, and corporate actors to lead our universities to having an even greater impact on an even more global scale. During my visit to UCU earlier this month, I was able to spend 2 glorious days with students, faculty, and staff. I met with faculty who have done research and published papers on business ethics in a time of war, who were looking at using satellite images to think about how better to demine the land when the war is over, and talking with professors about protections of the rule of law during a time of war. I met with students and alumni who had participated in the student mobility program that I had mentioned earlier. They spoke eloquently and with wise insight about how their lives had been transformed by their semester at Notre Dame and the friendships that they had made with fellow students and faculty members. I met UCU administrators, many old friends while making new ones, and heard about their work providing medical care and doing research in the new clinic, working to start the new Office of Military and Veterans Affairs, among many others. In every academic and administrative division I visited, my colleagues and friends never ever ceased to amaze me. What they accomplish with their vision and creativity, their ingenuity and tenacity, compassion and care is truly remarkable. They taught me how to do my own job better, and they gave me new ideas to share with colleagues at Notre Dame, even as I shared our own best practices, which fuel them on to innovate as well. We all benefit from learning and sharing, listening and reflecting, praying and laughing together. Our collaboration celebrates the best part of both institutions, which is our people, the very body and community of believers who represent a different way of living and being as we accompany one another in this time of war. And in the case of my UCU colleagues, they do all of this, as you heard Sophia talk about just a little bit ago, they do all of this with air alerts going off, incoming missiles killing students and their families, drones hovering, family members serving on the front lines. It is a miracle that UCU continues to flourish day in and day out as it does as a model university. And while God is responsible for that miracle, so too are my colleagues and friends whose indomitable spirit makes the university thrive and leaves me in absolute awe, humbled and re-energized to work even harder for this partnership. Mission, vision, and people. Let us celebrate tonight UCU for these strengths that make it a world-class university, and a university that the world needs to flourish now more than ever. As I and my colleagues at Notre Dame continue to accompany our friends at UCU in this extraordinary partnership for which I am so thankful, may we all be blessed by the grace of God in this endeavor, and may we be guided always by our commitment to be in solidarity as we help each other to be a light in this brutally dark world, always protecting the dignity of every person as we promote the common good. Thank you.